Morning everyone, it's John here again. Day 4 of our national lockdown and day 4 of my videos. So today I just want to concentrate on relationships. So given that we're now spending more quality time with our nearest and dearest, it can be a very difficult time for people. You're stuck in a small confined space. You're getting on each other's tits. So how do you get through that? Well, for me, I look at my relationship with everyone in a very different way now. So one of the biggest tips I can give you is Sid once said that people are only doing their very best with the thinking they've got going on that feels real to them. So when I first got interested in the 3 principles, I went after it at the intellectual level, and ego totally kicked in, and oh yes, this is great, I love it, I understand it, absolutely. But there's a very spiritual element to the 3 principles as well. And you don't actually get the 3 principles at an intellectual level. That's not the rewarding aspect of it. It's when you feel it. And it's when your soul just kind of fills up with love. And you sit in that wonderful feeling. That's when you know you've got it, you know. But what Sid was saying there is true. Like, every one of us, we're always thinking. And when we're interacting with people, we have a shitload of thinking going on about that as well. And some people are nervous, some people are shy, some people are extroverts. I think that's me, I fall into that one. Some people are very comfortable talking, some people are not. So we're all different. And sadly, I think most of the time, we don't actually take the time to understand that we're all different. We kind of have this expectation that people must think and react the same way I do. So if I'm thinking that, they must be thinking that, and therefore, you know, and it kind of rolls. So I'm sure we've all been in this scenario. I know I have several times, where I'm driving to work, and I get in the car. I'm still reasonably happy. I've had 2 coffees, and I start the engine, pull out the driveway, and the thoughts start coming. And to give you an example, I'm going to change this person's name to protect me and the innocent. So I'm driving to work and I'm thinking to myself, I wonder how Gonzo's going to piss me off today. I wonder what that muppet is going to do today. And by the time I got to the Forth Road Bridge, the old bridge, not the new one, I have already lined up 25 different ways how Gonzo's going to piss me off today. So then I spend the rest of the journey having an argument with Gonzo in my head, preparing myself, yeah? So by the time I arrive at my destination, I am totally wound up, I am totally freaked out, and I'm ready for him. I'm absolutely ready for him. Gonzo walks past me and says, "Morning, John." Happy as Larry. I mean, how dare he? How can he not know that we are in the middle of an argument? And that's the secret, right there. The argument was all done in my head. It was all done by my thinking. But it felt so real to me. But when you see Gonzo and he's happy as Larry, he's had no idea we've been having this argument in my head. So you can carry that emotion into work, into reality, if you wish. Which I'll be honest, I normally did. But nowadays, I just see that for what it is. So my top tips when you're isolating with people in a very small confined space. Always know that if someone's barking at you, shouting at you, it's not personal to you. It's indicative that their thinking is in a bad space at that moment in time. And if you listen, and I mean listen, properly listen to the words that they're using, they'll probably be telling you why they're pissed off. They'll probably be telling you what they think about themselves in this current situation. And that's, for me, is one of the key things that you can do during this time, is listen to each other. Don't react. And I know some of you will be choking on your tea and your coffee, or luckily your gin and tonics, when you hear me say something like that, because I was the king of reaction. You could just touch me and boom, I was off like a firework. Not anymore. I've disconnected all the buttons. And I can see beyond what people are actually saying to me. So if someone has a rant at me, I know it's not me. I know it's not personal. It's not an attack on me. So right away, I know they're in a bad place with their thinking. So what can I do about that? Well, I usually find if I just stay silent for a couple of seconds, don't react immediately, and then say, well, that's not normally like you to say something like that. So is everything okay? And I usually find an innocent question like that just takes the sting out of the situation. They realise they've probably got angry at the wrong person, and it's came out. But instead of carrying it on, I gave them an exit. I gave them a real easy exit so they didn't lose face. And if you can remember that in the next 2-3 weeks or months, or however long we were kind of holed up in isolation, if you can remember that other people are probably just as stressed, if not more stressed than you. We're all just trying to do our best at any given moment with the thinking that we've got going on in our little noggins. And if you always remember that nothing said to you in this kind of situation is personal to you. It's not. It will always be about where they were in their thinking at that moment in time. And typically that won't be you. I can promise you. So knowing that this is not personal, I think that can take away a lot of arguments. I know it works with my wife, and luckily I know she's not on Facebook, so she'll not see this. When I used to react to my wife, she'd press my buttons just to stop, to annoy me, just, whatever floated her boat at that time. And I would react, whoosh. Now she hits the buttons and I do my Rain Man impersonation, And I can see that that's frustrated the crap out of her. And that makes me laugh inside, because that's exactly what she was trying to do to me. So eventually, I'm not stupid enough to taunt her with that, but eventually she knows, she understands that I've clocked what she's doing. And she starts to laugh. So maybe 3-4 years ago, a big argument would have kicked off there, but it didn't. And it doesn't anymore. We still, don't get me wrong, we still have some exchange of views, But we don't have any ding-dongs, we don't have any big arguments anymore. And And I put that down to both myself and my wife knowing that it's not personal, knowing that it's just thinking, and knowing that we can no longer really wind each other up, which is kind of cool. But it takes a little bit of fun out of life, but it's a better place to be when there's no arguments, unnecessary arguments, you know. So stay safe, be kind to yourself, be compassionate with others, and always remember, people are just doing the best they can with the thinking they've got going on in that moment, which feels very real for them, you included. Take care, folks, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.